prepared yet.
You need to try and pick off the units as... Look at the shields on the mark.
Oh my god, the drone is gonna take this.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Pain User.
And this is Cat's Pajamas.
And we have a winner's bracket round 2 game for you guys from IPL's Season 2 with none other than our Season 1 winner, Evil Genius's IdrA. And he is going up against the newly recruited Complexity's Minigun. Minigun spawning as our blue Protoss at the 3 o'clock position, and IdrA spawning as our green Zerg at the 12 o'clock position. And these two players have quite a bit of drama together, but then again, who doesn't with IdrA? You know,
there was a brilliant thread on Team Liquid that was like, let's list some good rivalries in StarCraft. And the first post was like IdrA versus Huck, IdrA versus Minigun, IdrA versus Naniwa, IdrA versus... It was hysterical.
I know, right? I mean,
yeah.
Everyone seems to have bad blood with this guy, or he seems to have bad blood with them, but, you know, it's all in good fun, and at the end of the day, that is what creates the superstars within the sport. It generates so much buzz. I find myself talking about it at work. I find myself talking about it with my friends. Why did IdrA leave that game? Why did he say that to this guy? You know, it definitely promotes him as a player, and it just promotes StarCraft 2 in general. So I'm not one to hate. And nothing out of the ordinary just yet. We don't have a pool on the way, and we don't have a gateway on the way. I'm curious to see whether it's going to be a forge or a gateway. Probably a gateway. And IdrA is going to get gas and then most likely drop the follow-up pool.
Yep, gas in the pool.
Expand behind that.
Fast speedlings, and not a bad response to what he's going to see. We are close positions by air. Metalopolis, I would be shocked if Minigun didn't do some sort of a 3-gate expand behind sentries or something like that. And if you're able to get in with those fast speedlings, maybe that uncomfortable timing right before you have a lot of sentries out there, you could do some pretty good economic damage.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that players can do on this map that I've seen work out is the very, very quick forge expand with a gateway, forge, cannon in a proper position, finish the wall off with a nexus, but the natural is so wide open on this map. Roaches can easily find their way around the sides, around the back. The only way to really hold that is with a very quick Void Ray. And you're obviously going to be skimping on your gateway unit count if you do tech up to Void Rays relatively early on in the game. IdrA now sending that drone over to try and build the expansion. He is not going to be able to do so for a little bit here. There is a probe waiting. Let's see if Minigun drops a pylon. There's 2 Zerglings on their way out, so they will be able to clean that up in a little bit here, but Minigun just being annoying as possible.
Yep, absolutely, and not a bad move at this point as well. IdrA now has the resources for that expansion, and there's the Zerglings to drive this off, and oh, he does manage to get down the pylon. That's going to have to be canceled here in a bit, but that is going to be oh so annoying for a little while, holding IdrA to that base for quite a lengthy period of time. We do have Zergling speed coming up. The Queen is finished. It has not actually put down any larvae. Maybe IdrA a little thrown off there for just half a second while he was dealing with that pylon. Should be coming up here in a, okay, actually just kind of waiting there for a while, but we'll get it figured out in a bit. We do have Minigun now with double gas. Warp Gate technology is on the way. Curious to see how he decides to move out after this. I would expect to see a sentry following this up here in just a bit, along with a couple more gateways being put down.
And look at IdrA scouting the entire map with his Zerglings. It looks like he might even find this probe in the bottom left here. No, he is going to pull back outside of that main. That was very impressive scouting, though, and even more impressive by Minigun to not hide his probe in any of the common spots, sending it all the way to the smoke in that main. And it looks like he is going to ward off the drone in the main, or he's going to kill it. And wow, IdrA might be suspecting something here, sending his Lings back into the main. Will he intercept this probe? It looks like they might just pass by each other. What exactly was Minigun looking for right there? But the
what
Lings
is IdrA
are going to make their way in. Does he see the probe? Oh my god, he finds the probe. That was very, very impressive by IdrA right there. There are going to be no proxy pylons put down on his side of the map, and he does have speedlings now, so he's very aware of what's going on the map. He knows there are no proxy pylons. He has both the Zelnaga towers, so he must be feeling very safe right now.
Yep, and he is going up to a Roach Horn as well. I have been noticing that IdrA has been favoring, very, very heavy Roachling play against Protoss players, maybe even a little bit to his detriment in some games, but it looks like that would be a pretty powerful play here. A lot of very low HP sentries that are out, very expensive sentries as well. We do have a Forge coming up that's going to be duly used for upgrades. We'll also provide a little bit of cannon to fill in this wall here as well. Has multiple uses there, and those roaches are going to be able to range the buildings at the front, allow the speedlings to do their damage. So the roach play is not bad. It just sometimes gets caught up in the play of just a roachling all in.
Well, he's definitely going with it. We do have 8 roaches on the way and 10 zerglings in production right now, so he is going to be doing some form of an all-in here. He might be able to transition out of this, but he definitely needs to do some damage. There's no doubt about that, and we did have 3 gateways followed by a forge. He does build a cannon, and it's also in the back. He does not build it right behind the pylon, in which case the roaches could have attacked it. It's actually in a position where it cannot be attacked by roaches. So very good positioning on the cannon there from Minigun, and it looks like IdrA is just going to go straight for it. I wonder how much damage he's going to do here.
Yeah, at the same time, he is expanding as well, so bear that in mind. The pylon is coming down right now, and now this photon cannon. Oh, wow, these roaches are actually just outside of range there. That doesn't quite supply cap Minigun. He is putting up another pylon at the same time. He goes to a Twilight Council, but here comes IdrA once again. He's going to knock down the next pylon, and that is going to depower the cannon. We'll see if the Zerglings stream in behind.
Oh, he should go now.
They are not coming in at the moment. He is waiting. He is trying to pick his spots, take down as many sentries as he can, I assume. Does manage to... No, actually didn't kill any units. Now pulling back for the moment. This photon cannon is powered once again. IdrA going to go after that. He is going to take that down in a second, and wow, all of these lings were trapped, and IdrA going to lose every one of those lings.
Yeah, he has managed to force several cannons to be built. He's also forced the usage of a ton of force fields, so those sentries, although they have not been killed, the sentries are still alive, and that's the important thing. Minigun able to salvage all of his sentries, not losing too many units whatsoever. Ooh, we do have a bunch more lings coming in here, and it looks like IdrA is going to try and continue with this a little bit. He needs to be careful, though, because as he continues to commit here, Minigun is building up a larger and larger force. He hasn't really sustained any losses in the form of units. His army's continuing to get bigger, and IdrA really needs to take this time to drone up. He's also put up a few spore crawlers. It looks like he was worried about that quick void ray just covering all of his bases. He does have one in his main right now, maybe worried about possible DTs. I highly doubt that, though. More likely there for Phoenixes and for a quick void ray. And Minigun content to just stay back. He's in a pretty comfortable situation now, actually going for a Robo instead of a Stargate. And will IdrA spot that Robo with the Overlord? Has he seen it? He does. So he does see that Robo coming up and the additional gateway, getting most of the information that he needs, and that was a very, very timely Overlord sacrifice.
Yep, absolutely. It looks like we are going to have a total of 7 gateways when all is said and done. Now, 7 gate off of 2 base plus Robo and Twilight Council for upgrades is not really able to be supported, so this Robo probably more likely going to be used for drops, observers, just to allow blink stalkers to move up the top, blink in, things like that. We'll see one observer is coming out here for the time being. Looks like Minigun does manage to take out the Zergling over at the Zelnaga Tower. IdrA is retreating with all his lings at this time. There are a few units out in front, and the Spore Crawler at the front, maybe he was a little bit worried about some sort of a DT push through the front as well. This one's certainly in position for any sort of a Void Ray attack, but kind of interesting maneuver there. IdrA is also producing another 13 roaches at the same time, queuing up another few. As soon as those are done, Minigun gonna dart his way in, blinking back just a second. Don't know how well he's going to be able to reinforce this, because IdrA has pulled a pretty significant supply advantage, and he's also pulling upgrades on Minigun.
Yeah, he is pulling quite far ahead in the upgrades, but Minigun has a very substantial army right here, and he's working his way into that sweet spot at the third where force fields are just going to be so effective. It's going to be really difficult for IdrA to get anything done here. He's trying to get his roaches around the force fields. He does not have roach speed yet, however, and that is really what's changing the course of this battle. It's going to make it so difficult for him to accomplish anything. Minigun looks so timid right here, though. He's been able to engage in a few situations, but he's really worried, and he's going to give IdrA enough time to get, and quartering off all of those roaches. He will get the hatchery, and he's going to try and pull out of there. I don't know if he should fight right now. He needs to get out of there. The roaches are about to get speed. Speed finishes. There is no burrow, however, and he is able to trap a bunch of roaches on his side.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of roaches going down. IdrA has to pull back for a second. Minigun continuing to reinforce now. Most of those sentries are pretty low on energy, so those are actually the last few force fields that can go down. But Minigun has done a pretty good job with these force fields so far. Look at his blink micro as well, pulling all those units to the back as he just obliterates roach after roach after roach. He has denied this third. IdrA trying to put it up as fast as he can. Another blink and IdrA leaves the game.
No GG. I think it's actually more common for us to see the no GG now than the GG.
We'll just comment on GGs from now on.
It's gonna flip.
Oh, IdrA GG.
The script is gonna flip. It's gonna be the more sought after thing is gonna be the GG from now on, and it's awesome that that's the way things are going. But nonetheless, Minigun taking game one. Very well played by Minigun. So patient with his sentries, so accurate with his force fields, and just making a ton of sentries. So he had ample force fields to quarter off those roaches and just take out the third. IdrA losing his entire army and the third, and just very well played by Minigun. I'm impressed.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned he was being timid before too, but he was also picking his engagement so well. And the way he was working those sentries down in energy was beautiful. He knew precisely how much energy and how many rounds or how many times he could cut IdrA's forces in half, and he just did that enough times so that when all the energy was completely gone, he was going to be able to move in and engage the rest of the army straight up. So very beautifully played out of Minigun. That is going to send us into game number 2. IdrA down 1-0 at this point. We'll see what he can do to try to come back in just a second.